Hi, Aaron Dewald here. We're on the second day of the SALT Learning Technologies Conference. It's about 10 o'clock local time, so we're just getting into the swing of things. Just finished up with breakfast, and Aaron Hurd went to the first session while I was working on the blog, which you can read here. The first day was a mix. There was I don't know, 4 or 5 presentations that we ended up going to. A couple of them that were good, a couple of them that were not so good. And you can read more in detail. I'm going to just gloss over them in the video blog, but you can read more about them in this blog post. I go into a little bit of detail and elaborate a little bit more. The first presentation of the day was called Learning 2.0, and it was a little bit of a disappointment because I was hoping to learn a little bit more about how Web 2.0 technologies are going to affect learning and maybe by extension teaching. It's something that I'm very interested in. In fact, I'm meeting with a professor of communications when I come back next week to see if there's any way that things like Web 2.0 technologies, as Facebook, as YouTube and stuff, how they can be used in the classroom to teach better, to enhance teaching, enhance learning, and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, we kind of got a rundown of Web 2.0 technologies, and I think if you read any of Aaron's blogs, you'll kind of see that that's a kind of a common thread, is that people are just drilling in, Web 2.0 is the future, and this is what it can do, and here are some examples. So we're getting a lot of that out here. The second one that we went to was actually by far the best one. It's from Penn State University. I think it's their Arts and Engineering or Arts and Architecture department or something. Anyway, they have a group of instructional designers, media designers, and that sort of thing, who are actually using a very mix, a sort of custom developed but sort of prepackaged application structure to develop online learning modules. They have some different stages of how integrated they are. They've got blended, they've got technology enhanced, they've got face-to-face and online, and they all have varying levels of integration. Synchronous, asynchronous learning, where you go onto a website, look at all the material. It's kind of like Blackboard, but the cool thing about it is that the instructional designers work with the faculty, directly with the faculty, to develop a sort of game plan for putting their stuff online. And it's something that I think we need at the law school, we need to do more of, is we need to work closer with the faculty to see what they need and offer our insight on how technology can enhance what it is they're teaching. Now, they did say it's very difficult. They're actually on a 5-year plan. They're on year 4, 3 or 4 of a 5-year sort of demo. But the cool thing is that they've been able to capitalize on it and make money. The new students that can attend through this distance learning thing, and this I think only goes for the online courses, but maybe it extends. Like I said, they only have an hour to talk about it. But they're actually making money because the new students that come on, the faculty actually get paid to create these online modules and then get a certain royalty for their materials and the new students that they attract or new enrollments that they get into their classes. So it's kind of a cool thing that if you're curious about, I can elaborate more. Just send me a message on Twitter or send me an email. The next 2 were actually mildly disappointing. In fact, I got up and left one of them. It was a corporate use of Web 2.0 technologies, and it was they're building some of their own stuff, and they're trying to enhance collaboration within groups in this company. I think it was Lockheed Martin. So you can kind of imagine that a huge company, they're trying to use Web 2.0 collaboration technologies to get groups inside to collaborate a little bit better, and then those groups collaborate, and then good things come out of that. And then I went to another one that was Web 2.0 integration. That was it was a little bit of show and tell. Here's YouTube. Here's what it does. Here's what it's used for. The PowerPoint was all over the place. There was so much information on there, and those in Dr. Hunter's class would have cringed after her lesson just last week we had about how to PowerPoint and how not to. This was definitely one that illustrated how not to use it. The next one was actually a show and tell. It was kind of cool because we found a solution to our network storage issues at the law school, potentially solving or easing or just another application for us to try called Dropbox. Like I said, it was a show and tell. he showed us Dropbox. It was kind of neat. We did some research on it. But the real interesting one in this, where I started to pay a lot more attention, was this sense of offline or hybrid web application structure, where I go into it more on my post. But if you're working on a Google Doc and you're sitting at Starbucks and suddenly you have to get up and go give a presentation, and you find out, oh, there's no internet access at the presentation hall, you're kind of screwed, because you can't access the internet, you can't access your document or your slideshow or web pages or something. This actually, this concept is that you can pre-download content and store it locally on your machine. And when you do find an internet connection, it will actually automatically sync. So you have Google Docs on the server, on the Google server. You're working on it. It downloads the content, and you have it on your machine. And if you make changes on your local computer throughout the course of the day, you're giving a presentation, you notice a misspelled word, you change it. When you actually hook up to the internet again, it syncs the changes so that anything that you've done since will actually go back to the server. So that's a really interesting idea as we start moving into mobile technologies, as more and more faculty, staff, students have laptops, and we start to provide this cloud application structure for them to store their stuff or access and so on. Finally, the last presentation that we went to on the day was a mobile technologies presentation. It was a panel discussion. They had 5 or 6 experts in the field, which included emeritus faculty, PhD candidates, sales representatives from mobile companies that make mobile applications. And basically, they went back and forth with the crowd, where we asked things like, where do you think mobile technology, mobile learning is going? And they gave a great example about how a theoretical example of this would work in the military. And again, you can read the post further down towards the bottom, and I elaborate a little bit more on what it was that they kind of talked about with the potential of mobile learning, how this is going to affect our legal education, how it could affect students reviewing for tests. Maybe I don't know. I mean, we'd have to sit and think about ways that this could affect us at the law school, but there's a lot of possibilities out there, and there are things that we haven't even thought of yet. So it's kind of a cool thing to see that other people are doing it, get their ideas, and see how we could make something like that work if it's even feasible at the law school. So we've learned a great bit, some things that we can do, some things that we can read up about, and when we get back to the law school, we can talk with you more about it if you're curious. So that's that today. We've got a full slate of presentations and things to go to, some more information for us to get. At the end of today or tomorrow morning, I will post another blog kind of recapping what we did today. If you have any questions, want us to talk to somebody or elaborate more on a blog post or a tweet that we send out, just visit the blog, send us a message on Twitter, send us an email, give me a call, and we'll get back to you and let you know what we find out. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for reading the blog post, and I'm going to go enjoy the day. It's really nice out here.